Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Chalk Talk here on the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel. Kind of a shorter episode of Chalk Talk today. These are, as you're noticing, these are starting to come out every day. It's going to be every weekday. So 5 days a week, you're going to get something to help explain something in football, whether it be a play, a sequence, a player, just something. And today is going to be kind of an example of something really simple, looking at something kind of concise. We're not looking at anything too huge here, but I really wanted to go over the art of route running. A couple of days ago, we went over looked at some of the nuances of DK Metcalf, how he understands how to do route running and everything like that. And I wanted to show a couple of examples with some really good route runners. Calvin Austin has turned into a really good route runner for the Steelers. And so I want to show you the play first, but the conundrum and how he ends up winning this route and winning it really, really well. So Calvin Austin here, he's going to run a corner route. And if those who might remember, he just beats them. This was that corner route for a touchdown against the Giants last year. A heck of a route. And go ahead and dance, Calvin. Go ahead and dance. Deserve that one. All right. So you will hear people like myself or other people who study football talk about leverage quite a bit. Leverage is a huge thing in football. Obviously, it's a big thing when it comes to blocking. You want, if you're running, trying to protect a certain hole, you want to gain either outside leverage, inside leverage relative to the hole that you're blocking for, or if you're trying to open up or seal off or whatever it is. Talk about certain types of leverage. There's also leverage when it comes to covering a receiver, and that's what this guy is doing right here. He has outside leverage on Calvin Austin. That's his responsibility. And so what he's trying to do by lining up outside of him, and he's only outside by maybe a yard or two. You look at the end of Austin's body right here and where he is, it's probably about a 2-yard gap. He's trying to make sure that nothing gets anywhere out there. I mean, obviously he fails, but how do you do that? How do you possibly get outside? Well, there are a number of ways to do that. There are a couple of different ways to do that. What he wants to do more than anything is force the receiver inside, where he might have this guy helping, this safety might be coming down to help, over the top, whatever it is. For the receiver to best beat leverage and gain leverage when you, Austin, he knows I've got to get outside of this guy who has outside leverage on me. So one of the best ways to do it is to flip the hips inside. Guy cannot turn without his hips. I mean, you can't turn your torso around opposite of your hips. And so the best way to do that is to try to get his hips to commit inside. Because then if he can flip his hips inside, he then would have to turn then back out around outside, and that takes time. And when you're as fast as that guy is, as soon as those hips flip inside, that's the time to turn on the burners. And so here, let's watch. So Austin, he's coming out. All right, so he's engaged. And he's pointing right at Austin. He's like, I'm not going to let you outside. Obviously, we know he fails, but this is the process. Austin, okay, as soon as he turns his hips inside, see, he has already started to flip his hips and face that way. Now, all Austin needs to do at this point is find a time to put a foot in the ground and then make his break to the outside. But one thing that Austin does a really good job here is he makes a little step inside, but the defender's already kind of put himself into a bind because he's already committed. He's already flipped his hips. They're now facing inside. So Austin uses this quick little step right there, boom, and cuts to the outside. And by the time the defender flips his hips back around, Austin's already gone. With somebody with Austin's speed, he's going to be gone. Good throw. Make sure that he beats him. That's how you do it. Now, there's another way to do this, and he doesn't play for the team anymore, but I wanted to show, because when we talk about the art of route running, Deontay Johnson, man, he knows how to do it. And so this is an even more extreme version of somebody having outside leverage. Deontay Johnson is going to run an out route here, okay? He's running an out. This right here is the guy who's covering him. That is a lot more of a gap there. That's probably a good maybe 5+ yards of outside leverage that this guy has on him. And so how in the heck? Now you can try to do it. He can try to come up here and he can take a little step inside and then go to the outside. That's also a lot of extra movement. This little move that you'd be doing, that's a lot of extra movement when you have this much of a gap, when this guy has this much outside leverage on you. And so another way you can do it is literally run right at the dude's inside hip. Run right at it. Because at some point, when you are sprinting at that dude's hip, he will instinctively turn his hips to the inside. Because he is thinking at some point you are going to eventually just break it. Obviously, Deontay doesn't do that here. But what he does, and he does it so well, he is staring at that. I mean, he is running right at that inside hip. And the second he turns, turned inside, boom, foot in the ground, go to the outside, and just look at the separation. That is why Deontay was such a good route runner and really is still such a good route runner. And look at the reaction time in real time. And even then, that's not real time. It's slow. It's still slow motion. This is from the broadcast. This isn't the All-22. And I chose this view so you could see it better. Trying to show this from the All-22 is not going to work. This is straight from the broadcast. But, I mean, this right here, this is how you do it. This is how you attack leverage and gain leverage on those who have leverage over you prior to the snap. This is how it's done. Calvin Austin played with Deontay. I understand he didn't necessarily do log a whole bunch of snaps playing with him, but he still played with Deontay. He watched how Deontay worked. He watched how Deontay played, and it's that kind of stuff that helps. It's that kind of stuff that helps whenever you're talking about having elite route running ability. Being able to attack leverage, use the defender's hips against him. That's how you do it. That's how these guys win. That's how guys like Calvin Austin, who aren't the biggest, he is fast, but the guys who aren't the biggest and the strongest and can have high contested catch rates, that's how they can win. That's how guys like Deontay, who's not the biggest guy in the world, was able to consistently line up outside and beat guys because he understood the little nuances of route running. Beating this guy to the outside is not an easy thing to do. It is if you know how to attack leverage, how to use a guy's hips against him, how to attack as soon as he turns, put a foot in the ground, go, make your break, be quick out of your break. It's great stuff. So that's it. That's the entire Chalk Talk today. A nice little concise look at how guys like Calvin Austin, guys like Deontay Johnson, guys, even the bigger guys, DK Metcalf, understanding when to attack a defender, when to use a defender's hips against him, and it's good stuff, man. It's really, really good stuff when you have receivers who know how to do this stuff, who continue to learn how to do it. That's how they can get open all the time, and obviously getting open is a great thing because, well, you're giving the quarterback a really easy target to throw to. Anyway, we're going to go and wrap this up for today. Really appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, the first day of the NFL draft. Excited about it. Friday's Chalk Talk will be focusing on the Steelers' first-round pick. It's a big week coming up. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. We'll catch you on the flippity flip. We'll see you later.